We're going to get going on our writing for today. We are going to write the third sentence in our story that we've been working on. So we have our green folder with everything we need in it right there. We take out our word wall so it's right next to us when we're writing, and our journal helper and our dictionary in case there's words in there that can help us out. So we're going to take a look at my story so far. Every time we start the next sentence, we need to go back and see what we wrote before. Remember, we never want to write the same sentence two times because that makes it really boring, okay? So I look back at what I have so far, and then I think and know where I'm ready to continue my story. One time I went on a big ship with my mom. It went far out into the ocean. Okay, remember, we're writing about this time that we remember, and we're never going to forget how much fun we had, or how exciting it was, or what a big deal this thing was that we did. Okay, so now I have to think. After the ship went far out into the ocean, what could I say next? What else happened? I'm doing my thinking. Oh, I remember. We got to meet the captain. That was a big deal. We had to wait in line. We had to wear fancy clothes. So it was a big deal. And when I went on this big ship with my mom, it was about 30 years ago. That's a long time ago. So I even remember it now really, really well. So that tells you how much that I have not forgotten this story for even that long. So I'm going to turn you guys so you can see where I'm working on my story. And this is where I'm at. So we went far out into the ocean. And now I'm going to say, I got to meet the captain. So I look, there's the period, there's the end of sentence number 2. I'm ready to begin sentence number 3. So I must start with the capital letter. I'm going to say, well, I think I should change it to we because it was me and my mom. So I'm going to change that to we. We, and in goes my finger for a space. Got. I'm going to check my word wall on that one. I bring it right over. G, I go to letter G. Go, get, got. G-O-T. So I'm going to use this to help me out. I'm going to put it right here in this place where I can see it. Keep my finger in. G-O-T. We got, in goes my finger, 2. We got to meet. Now, meet is not on our word wall. I know it's not a person or an animal or a place or a way that my body moves. I could check in here. Meet. Starts with letter M. That's about the middle of the alphabet. E. Then I notice me. Oh, there's me. And then I notice men, men. And then those are the only ones that go M-E. So it's not in here. So any words not in there, we sound them out. Okay. We got to meet. E. Hey, Chunky Monkey says, look at that. The word me is in meet. Now I hope that, it's, right before winter break, that my first graders are starting to notice. When we say E, that's a long E sound. So if I went E, ta, and I put a T right there, it would say et. That would be a short E sound. So I'm hoping my first graders are starting to notice that something is different. Something makes a long E sound happen. And for this one, it's when we have two E's. E, because two E's together makes a long E sound. What I say when I say he says his own name, A, B, C, D, E. Well, look at that. Just like when we say the alphabet and he says his own name, that is the long E sound. So to get the long E sound, we need two E's. That's what we'll do it sometimes. We got to meet. Now I'm ready to put the T in there. And since my first graders are like almost to winter break, I'm hoping they notice that the long E needs to look different than when there's a short E. Okay, we got to meet the, in is my finger, T, H, E, easy peasy, we know it from the word wall. And we can check on our little word wall too. We got to meet the captain. You know, a captain is a person. So I'm gonna check my journal helper and see. I know it's not someone from my family. That wouldn't make sense. Boy, girl, man, woman, and then we have our animals. Let's check over here. Cowboy, doctor, king, queen, teacher, monster. No, those don't work. He wasn't a king. He was a captain, and that's different. It's not an animal. These are the ways that our body can move. These are places. So I guess it's not in there. That means when I don't find it, I have to sound it out. Captain. It seems a little bit too long to fit right there. If I'm ever not quite sure, I just go ahead and come down to the next line. Ka, ka. The sound that C makes. Ah, short A. Cap. Hey, Chunky Monkey says there's cap. There's a chunk in that word, and you know the word cap. So you can figure that out. Cap. Oh, we're sounding out slow, like we're really old. That's how we must sound out. We must go slow, like we are 100 years old when we sound out. That way we don't miss any sounds that are important. We got to meet the captain. Capt. I hear T. Capt. In. Wait a minute, Chunky Monkey's kind of helping me a lot on this word today. And usually we use Chunky Monkey to help us when we're stuck on words and we're reading, but cool beans, we can use Chunky Monkey to help us when we're writing too. Capt in. Chunky Monkey says you hear the word in. Two chunks. Cap, tin. Oh, maybe even three. In, tin, cap. Oh, that word can be figured out. Let's check and make sure this sentence makes sense. Then we'll know if it's the right time to put the period. We got to meet the captain. Totally makes sense. Other people know what it means. So I'm going to put the period. Now, what I do right away is go ahead right to my crayons, and let's use our crayons. Hello, crayon. Not markers, please. Markers go through the page and then it ends up on the other side. There's the end of sentence number 2. I know that. There's the period and the red circle, the red light. The beginning of the third sentence needs the green light to make sure I did a capital, and I did. Yay, me. And we got to meet the captain, and I check. I circle that period with red. Yay, me. I did that too, because those two things are super duper important. Now, let's see how my picture's coming along. See if there's any room to add anything else or anything I think might be important. Well, there's me. And I think since I talked about the captain, I want to draw him right on the other side here. He was taller than me, and he wore a special kind of captain's hat. So I'm going to draw his very special kind of captain's hat. Since I wrote about him, he is an important part of my story, then he should be included in my picture too. And he also wore a uniform. And when we got on the ship, he waved to people. His uniform had buttons on it. And he was like waving like, hello, welcome. I'm glad that you're on my ship. And there we go. I feel like since I added the captain, that really helps. And then also something I just remembered is that there was a lot more windows that went all the way down toward the bottom of the ship. And that's how so many people could fit in there and we could sleep in there. We each had our own room. And that's what makes it such a big memory for me. Some pretty cool things happened. All right, time to add your sentence number 3.